Hey y'all! Ajoka! Habari za muda! Greetings to my friends and family all over the world. My 1 year anniversary is passed and I've been trying to figure out the best way to update you all. So I decided to do a top 10 random thoughts list from my first year here. So let's get started. Number 10. Ngatomon. I have trilingual cats. Alia Sanduku, or Alley Cat, and her mama, Bonnie, are very smart. Of course, being cats, they still have selective hearing, and they choose to ignore me about 50% of the time, no matter what language I use. Very bad kitty. Paka mbaya sana. Ipaka erono noi. They also refuse to answer questions like, why are you stuck in the refrigerator? Why are you sitting in the pan of vegetables that I'm washing? What are you doing? Why are you doing whatever you're doing? What are you eating? Oh, a gecko? Good kitty. Paka mzuri. Ipaka ejok. Number 9. Ngatomon komon. Being the lesser species, I'm actually impressed that my dogs seem to be trilingual also. And Yaritai Kesi Batman ka Robin. Their names are Batman and Robin. While Robin isn't the brightest bulb on the strand, he is smart enough to stay here in the compound where he has a pretty good life. On the other hand, Batman often feels the need to go out and chase the ladies and get into trouble. The last time that I was treating his wounds, I very clearly told him that even at his age, he could quickly be bumped to the top of the surgery list for a little snip snip if he wasn't careful. I guess he understood me because now he's stayed around the compound here for a month. Good dog. Mbwa mzuri. Engok ejok. Number 8. Nakan kauni. I no longer scream every time I see a gecko or a bug. Now I yell, poos poos, and the cats come running. Just like her. This is Alley Cat. They come running. If I call them for a gecko, then they get really excited and the chase is on. But if I call them for a bug, then it all depends on their mood. Crickets are loads of fun. Flying bugs are really interesting, but these silly millipedes that are all over everywhere, we're all just done with them. I used to tap them with my foot, make them roll into a ball, and then kick them across the floor so the cats could play with them like little hockey pucks. Now, the cats don't care. I usually end up stepping on them and they hear them squish, and then I have more stuff to clean up. Oh, fun. Number 7. Ngakankare. Not everything here is poisonous, although you will be told everything here is poisonous. It's still good to be cautious, and I've learned where scorpions like to hide and how to take off their tails, which have the stinger and the poison in it. And I've also learned that the loudness of my scream is directly proportionate to the size of the unfamiliar reptile that is crossing my path. Case in point, the monitor lizard that ventured into our compound, which the dogs chased into my teammate's porch after they were alerted by my screaming. It was an interesting day, but those things are also not poisonous, although everyone involved kept telling me, be careful, it is poisonous. Number 6, Ngakankape. Spaying cats is just like riding a bike. Even after a year, it all comes back to you. Although it was rather stressful working on my own cats on the porch without technicians, doing all of the prep work and cleanup just by myself and the recovery, it felt really good to be doing something that was familiar to me again. But on a related note, I am not missing one other familiar situation. I have not had to express, smell, or get squirted by anal glands in over a year. And that's just fine with me. Ngakan, number 5. Learning to communicate in a new language is about much more than just words. So have you noticed that I've been counting a little differently? Number 5, instead of American number 5. I oftentimes have to catch myself, but the Turkana have a different way of counting with their fingers, and they have other different nonverbal communications that they use also. I've also had to try to learn to point with my lips and chin instead of my fingers. If you want to point at someone, like that, which I'm not really good at, and they do something with their eyebrows too. I'm still working on that one. But the other thing that's interesting, sometimes we will wave to kids and we'll do this. That actually means, come to me, bua, bua, potu. So if you're in church and you kind of do this and like wave at a kid, they'll think you're doing this and they'll probably come up to you. Although many of the kids are still scared of me here. Number 4. This is a harder one for me to do. It's kind of like Spock hands. Ngomon. Bridge traffic here is more interesting than bridge traffic in America. After many years of living and working on opposite sides of a major river, I was pretty happy to leave the bridge traffic behind. But God has a sense of humor, and he sent me to a place with a one-lane bridge. And guess what? I live on the opposite side of the river from the main part of town. But I can honestly say that I never had to stop and wait, or share any of the Ohio River bridges with loose wild animals running across. What a boring life that was in America. Number 3, or sometimes they say 3 like this. My resume has grown exponentially in the past year. I made this statement a few weeks ago when someone asked me if I had any experience with generators before coming here to Kenya. I truthfully said I've never even touched a generator before in my whole entire life. Now using one is as routine as many other tasks are. However, someone may have to teach me to pump gasoline again when I go back to America. Since here there's no self-service pumping, they do everything for you. In that respect, I'm pretty spoiled right now. Number 2, ngare. Every day has something good in it, but some days it's harder to recognize. The days when the good is obvious are the days that really keep me going, such as the day that the kids at the farm put braids in my hair after I'd already had a great time of language learning with them. The second one, bartering for the price of 2 arrows and feeling like I won a huge victory when I got the man to throw in some vegetables just to get the price that he wanted. And third, another day of language learning with lots of singing and having the kids and adults actually clap for me when at the end I was able to sing the song that they taught me all by myself with the words and the right tune. Those were the good days. And those are what, like I said, those are what keep me going because number 1, this is ape. Being here is really the hardest thing that I've ever done in my whole life. I miss my family and friends so much, but I know this is where I'm supposed to be, and I know that this is that God is with me here all the way every day. And as Philippians 4:13 says in Nga Turkana, Iyay ayong ationes na asubeya, nga kirodom kotere agogongu nakita nyuni Kristo. And in Kiswahili, na yaweza mambo yote katika yeye anitiaye nguvu. And in English, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. I love y'all and miss you lots. Atanyun, tutaonana. See you later.